Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of tie-dye and a bit of batik today. So first what I'm going to do is melt the wax. These are just some candles. For the batik I'm going to use this, it's a batik pourer. Okay, so I'm just going to pour the water in here and use that boiling water to melt down the wax. Okay, so I'm going to take this whole pot over to the fabric. So this is my fabric for batik. Okay, so I'm going to write claustrophobia, which I've looked up the spelling on my phone. And then you write it like this with the needle. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but that's done now. And I spilt a bit at the top, so we'll also see how that works out. Okay, now for the tie-dye element, I'm just going to tie some elastic bands around the fabric. Like this. Okay, next I'm going to tie some string. Now I'm just tying some elastic bands around the sheet. Okay, so I made up some buckets of pink and orange dye. I just followed the instructions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it onto the fabric. So this is another one that I did earlier. I'm going to do some orange. Some of the orange onto the pink. And for this area where I put the elastic bands around it, I'm going to dip this whole area into the orange bucket and leave that there for an hour. Okay, so I just rinsed this and now I'm going to lay it out and see what it looks like. To get off this wax, I'm going to try and iron it. I put some kitchen towels on it and hopefully that's going to absorb the wax. Okay, so I just put them in the washing machine to spin a bit because they were really wet. I dried these out and the dye's faded quite a lot, but I'm going to try and iron them now they're dry and get the rest of this wax off and then we can see. Okay, so this is finished now. The dye that I just sprinkled on didn't work so well, but the dye that I soaked it in came out really strongly. And you can see this that I wrote with the elastic bands. Turned out really well. The batik, the light's not great in here, but you can't really see the text, so what I will probably do is go over that in paint or something later. But yeah, essentially that is the finished product, and then I've got those to iron and I'll let you know how those go. So this claustrophobia one that I made yesterday, this turned out a lot better. Yeah, you can see the writing's much clearer. And there we go. You can see that I filled in the bits that didn't work with white paint. I think that looks good.